Theresa May will have PMQs today where we'll see her spar again with Jeremy Corbyn, but then she'll leave a frozen Downing Street to go to Brussels. She'll be hoping for a warm reception when she meets Jean-Claude Juncker. Of course, they agreed the withdrawal agreement last week, including the money as well, that 39 billion, but they need to agree the political text on the future relationship. The EU had set a deadline for doing that yesterday. It's still not agreed, though. There are some sort of arguments being made by Spain about future talks on Gibraltar, and the French are unhappy as well about the fishing arrangements in the Channel. So they need to try and work through that declaration to get it sorted ahead of the weekend meeting of the EU 27 leaders. And I think this is now a bit of a game of optics with Theresa May going to Brussels. The strategy from Number 10 has been to look like the Prime Minister is constantly working. She went out on the weekend and did lots of interviews. She did a phone-in on LBC on Friday. She's been out and about sort of selling this deal at the CBI conference, and she'll be going to Brussels to make it look like she's really working. And it seems to be sort of resonating with British people. There's a new poll out. 33% of voters were backing Theresa May to stay in her post last week. Now that's up to 46%. So she seems to be getting some popularity from what she's been doing.
Well, let's focus on that domestic front side of things. We're seeing those first signs of this opposition coalition building up to create potentially an alternative solution. What more can you tell us about that?
That's right. Nicola Sturgeon, the SNP leader, came down from Edinburgh yesterday, and she was having meetings with a backbencher, Nick Boles, on the Conservative side, who's pushing for the UK to adopt a Norway model if they can't get the Brexit deal through the House of Commons, which is looking increasingly likely. And Nicola Sturgeon also met with Jeremy Corbyn, the Labour leader, to try to build up a bit of a coalition of opposition parties. Now, they did have some disagreements about freedom of movement to come in and state aid rules, but it seems like the SNP are trying to move towards this softer Brexit position, but they still also support the idea of a second referendum if that won't work. But Theresa May is on a slightly more assured footing now, at least with her own party. Yesterday, as you saw, mocked on one of the front pages, Jacob Rees-Mogg and the Brexiteers in the European Research Group gave a press conference which was a bit of a dad's army, a comedy show from the 70s here of some sort of hapless gents on the Home Guard. And Jacob Rees-Mogg said the coup had been unsuccessful, but that it might work in a time. He's sort of hoping that they can get all those 48 letters in, but at the moment they don't seem to be flooding the 1922 committee chairman Graham Brady. So Theresa May still in Number 10 and still working to get this all sorted.